Welcome back to the Sound for More channel, and welcome back to another tutorial on NoiseSpace. Today I have the pleasure to show you a little bit about the modulation, which you can see here, and then we are going to have a look at also randomization, and that is where the fun begins in terms of experimentation. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Additionally, if you like what I do, please make sure to check the video in the description to see how you can support the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so as you know, we have at the moment let's focus on the first generator. If I increase the level, you hear, of course, a sound. We have also seen in previous tutorials that we can configure it to run as a sequencer here. And we can have the first step, for example, to activate on step number 1, and then on step number 5, and then on step number 7, right? Perfect. Now, we have also seen that if we click here, we can change the generator parameters. We have seen how to change the filters, the gate, and also how to add background sound. Now, we would like to actually add more movement because after all, just static sound is not really great. So if you click here, you get access to 2 LFO. Okay, the first one, which will be represented here in this graph here, in this visual representation, vertically, and the second one horizontally. So, for example, this one vertically, if I set the depth, like so, I increase, you can see it's increasing up and down there, even more. And then we can increase the rate, you can see it's moving up and down. Okay. And then you can also set it to randomize as well, if you prefer. Now, on the right-hand side, you can choose what it says none. You can choose to modulate the structure, the tone, the morph, etc., all the parameters which are inside the generator. And of course, please note that you also have access to the filter, the background, the level, and the pan as well, which are really, really interesting. Let's start with the tone, and then let's increase the rate like so, and test it. Of course, I can set this to be always on, right? And the other two to be off. In this case, we ignore the sequencer. Now, if we click again here on the graph, we can do the same horizontally on the second LFO. We can set the depth, and you can see now it's moving, and not only vertically, but also horizontally, and therefore it creates some nice representation. We can set the rate as well. We can decide if to have it randomization, right? It will randomize the position as well. Okay, but then we select, for example, why not the morph? Okay, and when it's assigned, you can change it to the waveform of the LFO to triangle, so reverse, so square 25%, etc., even exponent. Okay, for that exponential filling. Okay, let's try. Okay, so this is how you add modulation. Now, so far we have covered a lot of the parameters of NoiseSpace, but we haven't really demonstrated how to create interesting sound. Now, if you don't want to go into the depth or how to modulate, how to change the different parameters, because you find that too complicated, well, you can use the randomization. So if you click option here, okay, you can select init and it will initialize. Okay, you can see it stops here, it says none and none here. And by the way, these two buttons here, vertical, where it says none, you can change very quickly vertically what you are modulating, the same horizontally here for the 2 LFOs here. It's practically the same as selecting none here and none here, okay? But back here to the options, you have the ability to initialize, copy and paste, swap also the output in between background and main level. But what you can also do is randomize different parts. Okay, So let's go inside generator number 1. You can see everything is down to 0 in terms of the tone parameters and the filter as well. Now let's go to option and let's say randomize the generator tone parameters. Now if you go inside, you can see it has changed the tone, the segment, the structure, the pulse, and the morph as well. Okay, let's initialize it again. And now let's choose randomize the sound. If you go and check again, it has changed all the tone generator parameters, but also the filter. You can see the filter here, frequency and bandwidth, has changed as well. The selection of the filter is to notch as well. Here the crash and filter as well. Okay, let's initialize it again. Next, what I'm going to show you is modulation value. Now, as you can see, if you go inside here, it has changed the depth rate for both LFO1 and LFO2, but it hasn't changed the destination in terms of modulation. Now, click on the option and say randomization, modulation, all parameter. Now you can see it has actually changed the destination in terms of modulation. On the first case, LFO1 is modulating the segment, and the second case, the tone. Next, you have a option to randomize everything, and that is where the fun begins. So let's go for it. So remember that it randomizes also the level of the background noise, right? So here we go. It has put the level up. That is why I had to decrease here the background to not talk over the sound. Now let's continue to randomize. And when you find something that you like, leave it there, and then you can go to the second generator and continue like that. And you can randomize everything, but you could randomize, again, only the modulation value, only all the modulation parameters, and the sound, all the sound option, or only the generator tone parameters. Remember, and those are additional options for you to tweak if you like the parameters, because you might start with randomize everything, and then if you see that the modulation is quite good, you might just want to change the tone, your parameters, and if that is not good enough, you might want to change the filter as well, so you go to randomization of sound. Okay, so keep trying. Interesting one, right? And remember, you can use the solo button here or mute. So if you want to randomize, for example, generator number 3 only, and of course mute it when you want to talk over it. So in this case, you can keep randomizing until you find something you like. Let's say I like this one, but I want to change only the sound. Interesting. Let's add the other two generators together. And then, of course, you can add some early reflection here, similar to reverb, as we covered before. And remember, you can go inside each generator and enhance the stereo image as well. So okay, so hopefully you understand a little bit more about the controls inside NoiseSpace. I find that the randomization option gives you a lot of different choices to experiment, to start with composing something with NoiseSpace, which of course you can use in your ambient composition or soundscape type of sound or texture. Okay, see you next time.